Welcome back, Resource Gang, to another episode with the Bishop. Guys, listen, I've been getting questions. I've been being asked, what is it like to be a trainer for PAM Transport? Uh, man, I don't know if y'all know. I probably said in a couple videos earlier that I've trained with them for over 5 years. So I've seen the good, I've seen the ugly, I've seen the bad, and I'm seeing the rebuilding stages right now. And I can truly say that these last 4 days, I've been up here at the main terminal for the last 4 days, and these last 4 days have been very good, very educational, guys. I have learned so much. And you would think that because of how long I've probably been in the trucking game, driving, and how long I've trained, how many students I've produced, that it's nothing that I can learn or nothing they can tell me or teach me. But I'm here to tell you guys, if you think like that, you are sadly mistaken, because you can learn anything. You can learn from anybody, not necessarily saying they have to be a truck driver to teach you something, right? Because a lot of the upper management, they never drove trucks, but they do have the data, and they do have different experiences that can kind of give you an idea of what'll probably be better when you're training a student. You got to understand something. When you become a trainer, right, you take on the role of being a person that's going to teach another person a lifelong skill that they're going to take with them for the rest of their life, whether they use it 6 months, 12 months, 10 months, but you're teaching them a skill, which means you're also going to teach them habits. And I always say, teach them good habits. So when they get out on the road, that they will practice those habits when they find themselves in these situations. Now, I can say this, right? Because I'm very transparent and I'm very honest. When I first started with PAM, we didn't do a whole lot of hands-on training. And one thing I can say now, the hands-on training is A1 beneficial. So we didn't do a lot of hands-on training. You come up to the terminal, you do your drive test, you do your bag test, you do your pre-trip, and at that point, you get a student and you shoot for the stars. But since I've been back these past couple days, this hands-on training have been, man, a game changer. Now I can say this too. And I want to give a shout out to you, Chuck, in case you see this video. Chuck and Richard and everybody that's in the upper management and the staff, I want to give a big shout out to you guys, because I didn't know what the hell to expect. You know, at this point, I'm coming back into the program. So much have changed. We don't do this, we don't do that. So I'm like, man, how is this going to work? How is they going to try to teach me something? I got the experience. I got the years. I've been out here in the fields. I know what it looked like. I know what it. So what are they going to tell me? How can they teach me? One thing I did, guys, and this is how I am anyway. I love to learn. It don't matter if I'm learning from a bug or a human being. I love to learn. And they rolled out some stuff that I totally did not expect, but I see the benefit of it, right? I've seen what it can do in a real life setting with students that's on the yard. And I would say this, that just made things a whole lot different for any new mentor, any new person that want to be a trainer for PAM Transport, because you're going to get the hands-on training that you need. You get real life scenario when they give you a student that don't have a CDL, that needs to learn how to do a pre-trip, need to learn how to do tandems, need to learn how to couple and uncouple, guys. It gives you a real life scenario, because once you become a trainer, this is what you're going to get once your student get out there. So I'm so glad that I didn't like come and act like I know it all, because I've been out there in the fields already. I came with an open mind to learn. And I can tell you this, I have definitely been challenged, right? And I love a good challenge, because I know that challenge is going to make me better. So I really, really do appreciate them bringing me back. I really appreciate them teaching me what they have taught me, so I can be a better mentor to the students, a better trainer to the trainees, just so when they get out here, They don't have all these different complications. Now, I'm not saying that the students are going to not run into issues or not going to run into problems when they get on their own. If you're a truck driver, you watching this video, you knew just as soon as you got out of your training, you ran into some stuff that you didn't even go through in training. And I'm not saying they're not, but what I am saying is, uh, I've learned some great tools to use to help these people get to a position of being a professional driver, not just a professional, safe driver. So to me, don't get me wrong, a long time ago, I used to always say, because I started with Steven Transport, I used to say Steven Transport got the best training program. Well, I'm going to say this hand down. Steven Transport, you number 2 or number 3, but PAM, you number 1 at this point from what I've seen and how they are going above and beyond with the students. See, this is the thing about PAM that I do like about them, right? And I'm not saying this because I work for them. I'm just saying it's the truth. They are not just teaching their students how to pass a test. They are also teaching their student ahead, give them a little more just to get ahead. So when they get out on with their trainer, it's not so much of they're dumbfounded, right? So they're giving them a chance to look at a 45 and do a 45, unhook a trailer, hook up a trailer. So I would say, if you're going to go get your CDL, if you're watching this video and you want to get your CDL, I would definitely look into PAM School at the main terminal in Tiny Town. I would look at it and I would recommend going there, not because I work for them, but because of the fact that they are going above and beyond for their students. Because what makes it more easier for the trainer is when the student have an idea of what I'm finna teach them, right? And there's a few other components that go in with this that they are also doing that's kind of making things a lot better. Because doing this training process, um, like I said, things are way different now than they was 5 years ago. And there was a lot of questions that I was asking in the class that I needed clarity on, because when we was getting students, man, they were just, Lord Jesus, it almost like they were just giving you anything. And it's like, I do what you can and make the best out of it. And for me, it kind of scarred me a little bit, because I'm like, man, I've had some really, really, really tough students to the point where like you start asking yourself, like, all right, this is something I really need to be doing. But even with the tough students, management was very helpful with helping me, get to a position where I was able to figure things out. And if it didn't work out, we was able to, make a decision on what we needed to do going forward. So I would say that is definitely a plus. Another thing that has changed since I started back in the day, you don't run teams anymore. So at first I was like, man, this gonna suck. Like, I ain't gonna be able to do this and do that. But then after sitting through the classes and listening and observing and understanding why. And here's another thing, commercial break me right here. Anything you do in life, you need to know the why. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? You got to know the why. So as I was sitting in class and they kept explaining, like, this is why we've switched things up. This is why we're not doing this anymore. And this is why we're not doing that. So I was like, man, so what's the whole big reason why y'all don't want to run teams no more? Like, it was like, man, and it makes sense. And, this helped weed out a lot of bad drivers, a lot of bad trainers, and accidents, guys. Accident. You get drivers that become trainers because they see the dollar sign. They don't care about what the student know and what they learn. What they care about is, how much money can I make this week? How can we run these 2 clocks and I make all the miles? And then you get a student that don't know nothing or haven't learned anything or only know just a little, right? And now you at a situation where you have produced, I won't say a bad driver, but you would produce a driver that just don't know enough. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they're going to learn every single thing with you. They're not. But the thing of it is, you need to teach them enough so when they get out on their own, they'll be okay. And I've seen it firsthand. Well, you get students. I've retrained students that have been with these drivers. They done ran the brakes off of them. They haven't learned nothing. All they've got was the money. I'm not a hater, but at the end of the day, it's like, think about this. Would you want that student that haven't learned nothing to ride beside your family on the road? Like, do you want that student to ride beside your wife and kids that don't know what they doing and then end up crashing into them or anything like that that can go bad or go south? So I understood why, because the student don't get the proper training. So what we're doing now is making sure that you're honest, is keeping you honest 100%. And at first I didn't understand it because I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, well, dang, how am I gonna make some money? Like, I know I'm a good trainer. Everybody know I'm a good trainer. Like, I do exactly what need to be done. I go above and beyond for my student. I would continue to still go above and beyond, but I had to understand why things had to change and why things are the way it is. I mean, hey, change ain't bad, guys. Change ain't bad at all. But what I will say is this: I'm probably gonna really enjoy this new setup that Pam have gave, because a lot of times, and I've been like that before too. You know, you just want to go, 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 and you don't really think about uh your health, for as making sure you get the proper amount of sleep, making sure your student get the proper amount of sleep, making sure you eat right so you have the energy to get up and drive those hours and still be efficient enough to teach your student without both of y'all crashing. The goal is safety, 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 safety. And another thing I can say about Pam, right? At first, you would hear every company talk about safety. Oh, we care about your safety. We care about your safety. You know, don't do this, don't do that. No, they really mean this. They really mean this shit. They really do not play about your safety, guys. Safety will get you out of the door. If you're not being safe for your own good, they will get you out the door, and as they should. So safety is definitely one of the biggest things. And that's one thing I can say. Anytime I felt unsafe about doing something or felt unsafe about a student, when I say a snap of a finger, stuff happens. They get right on it, and they make sure that, hey, we're gonna make this right for you. We don't want you to do nothing that you don't feel comfortable with. And so I would say, to me, that means everything, because I want to make it back home to my family, right? I got a wife and 2 kids and a dog. I want to make it back to them. And I want you to make it back to your family too. If I'm your trainer and I train you and you go out on your own, I want you to make it back to your family just as well. So that's another big plus on why I would recommend, coming to PAM. I would recommend going through their training program. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to put you first. They're going to make sure that you got all the tools you need to be successful. They're going to make sure that you understand everything it is to understand and know. And at the end of the day, they're not going to force you to do nothing that you don't want to do. They ain't going to tell it to you and make it sound good and make it sound sweet. You know, some companies just try to sell it to you because they need the driver. I'm going to tell you over here, I ain't selling nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's either you do or you don't, and here's what it is and here's what it ain't. They make it known at the door for you. It ain't about how many jobs we can get. It's how many people we can get to do this job that's going to be safe. So my thing about PAM training class, becoming a mentor, being a trainer, uh, I would say, man, it's nobody come close. As of right now, as of what I've just went through, what I've seen, nobody come close, man. Nobody come close. I mean, this is a real deal, legit training course. This company, they are really serious about this training stuff. They want to make sure you know everything in and out. It's definitely worth the money and the time. If you're thinking about becoming a driver, if you're thinking about becoming a mentor, man, you're gonna get some good information, some good training. It has definitely, been very, very educational for me. And the money is good. The money is good, but the most important thing is making sure that you have people that's gonna stand behind you and back you when you know you out there representing them, doing what you're supposed to do, being safe, being honest, being truthful, hard working, man. They gonna stand behind you 10 toes down. So if you're thinking about becoming a trainer, you thinking about becoming a mentor, you want to, give people what you know and what you've learned, and you trying to figure out a home to come to, hey man, give Pam a look. Give Pam a look. Try it out and see. When I came over here 6 years ago, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how all this was going to work out, guys. And I'm going to tell you something else. You just can't listen to all the media, because some media is bad, man. You got some people that get out here and it don't work for them because they haven't used the tools that was given to them. They haven't asked the right question. They haven't made the sacrifice. They haven't put in the hard work. You have, and I'm going to say this again, you have to learn your craft. You have to learn your craft inside out. If you're a company driver, you need to know the ins and outs of being a company driver. If you're an owner operator, you need to know the ins and outs of being an owner operator. If you are a trainer, you must learn the ins and outs on being a trainer. You just can't get out here and do it because somebody say the money is good. You man, it's beyond. It's go way deeper than the money. The money is that's what we all want and what we need to survive. But at the end of the day, like, you need the training, you need the understanding, you need to know who is who and what is what before you do anything that consists of trucking. And if you're willing to do that and learn and be teachable, you will have a successful trucking career. And that don't matter if you with PAM, if you with Schneider, Swift, Steven Transport. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the time. You have to be dedicated. And most of all, the most important thing, you are going to have to sacrifice. And I'm not talking about sacrificing your life. I ain't talking about that. But what I am saying is you're going to have to put in sacrifice. You might have to lose some time with your family for a little bit. You know, you might have to miss out on that concert. You might have to miss out on that family reunion. But at the end of the day, think about what the bigger picture is. So, y'all, I would say this, and this is my spiel, right? When it comes down to training for PAM Transport, I've had a blast. I've met a lot of good people. Management have been good. I've met a lot of people. Management changed from time to time, but it's all been good, man. They all teach you with respect. They treat you with respect, integrity. They teach you with dignity. They make you feel like a family. They treat you like a family. You know what I'm saying? But I would say this, it's a good training program. And if for me to say it's a good training program, it's a good training program. I done been around the block a couple of times. I've been in the industry for over 11 years. I done hauled everything but a flatbed. So, and I've been through different training programs and all this other stuff, but PAM, second to none, man. Second to none. I don't see no company right now when it comes down to training their students and they mentors, like, they untouched, man. They untouched. And I'm not saying it. And I want y'all to understand something. I was in the program. I got kicked out the program. So for me to get on here and tell y'all that, hey, what they're doing now is way better than when I started, that says a lot. I promise you, this ain't paid promotion. This ain't paid promotion. You know what I'm saying? But what I just like to educate people and give you the resources of what you need. I mean, you on the resource channel, so I'm giving you the resources of what you need to know. If you decide you want to come to PAM and let them train you to get your CDL, guys, hey, like I said, you're going to get more than what you pay for. Believe that. And you don't hear that at all. You don't hear people say, oh, you're going to get way more than what you paid for. No, you're going to get for what you paid for and a little bit more. So that makes your trucking experience and your trucking learning way better. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's a few other things that go with it once you get your CDL and you start working that you'll have to check into. You know, I'll probably make a video on some other stuff about the dispatches and a few other things, safety and management and stuff. But for the training part of it, you thinking about being a mentor and you work for PAM already, you see this video, hey, do it. I would say do it. Now, let me put this if on there. Do it if it's something you feel like you can do wholeheartedly. You can't do it for the money. You cannot do it for the money, because the money will put you in a situation where you can lose your job if that's only what you're doing it for. So you got to do it because you genuinely want to help people. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like you ain't gonna make no money doing it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the money come with it. But at the end of the day, if your main focus is on, I'm just gonna try to make some money and not really teaching people, you just gonna think you can just do this and it's gonna be all good. I've been down that road. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So I would say this: if you're thinking about doing it, do it. Have a conversation with the training department. Do it. If you want a CDL and you're trying to figure out how to get your CDL and you don't know what's a good company, if you hit a bishop, if you're watching this video, give PAM a look. Get him a look And if you meet all the credentials and you can be a driver for them, come through their school, I would strongly request to come to the one that's in Tiny Town. Come to that school, because I don't know about all the rest of the school, but what I seen with my own two eyes, you're gonna get more than what you paid for. And guys, that's been the Bishop.